How far are you willing to go for the people you love? When we talk about love, just how much of it are we truly ready to give away? Is the love we know of even enough? Would you say that you'd give it wholeheartedly? In the 18th of January 1301, Manuel Barbal y Cosin was shot multiple times in Monte de los Olivos grave for the very thing many of us fight for today, our faith. Because of his loyalty and persistence, among the other redeemable traits of his, he can now be regarded as Saint Jaime Hilario, a saint to keep in our minds and hearts as the image of faith and the epitome of love for God himself.
Unsteady and unclear, one would think this dilemma is what plagued the strength of Saint Jaime Hilario amidst the Spanish Civil War that broke out during his time. In the unsafe and terrifying hours of the night, while the rest of the world fell asleep and victim to those that threatened their faith, there stood Saint Jaime, relying on the same man that's had his back from the very beginning. His early years were not spent enjoying the music of the people around him. From the stories you hear as you walk the streets to the loud complaints of the people that will one day turn their backs on their faith. As someone who struggled with leaving problems, getting to the seminary was no early feat. His passion for teaching as well was affected by this, but he didn't let that stop him from sharing God's word and love to others.
If there was but one sound you get to hear for the rest of your life, what would it be? A favorite song? The sound of your mother putting you to sleep? The profession of love from the person who has your heart in his hands? For Saint Hilario, it was one voice, the call from above. Throughout his treacherous days and nights that went right by him, his love could be described in one word: unwavering. It's beautiful, isn't it? How much power love has, especially when used in the right way. Isn't that the kind of love we yearn for? The kind of love we dream about as teenagers? Or is your own idea of love far different? Despite the threat of death right at his doorstep, Saint Hilario believed that with his faith, he was untouchable. It didn't matter what happened to him because he had the almighty light by his side.
When his hearing problem was at its peak, he had to stop teaching and instead became a gardener. But the Civil War did not spare him. While it could have been his escape, he refused to deny his religious affiliation, and for this reason alone, he lost his life. The love that Saint Hilario displayed was more than remarkable, more than enough to prove something. He was wise and he was good. He was zealous in every sense of the word, generous to the Lord and the minds he bestowed upon his knowledge, kind in his way, reserved, and above all, he was faithful. So I ask the question again, just how are you willing to go for the people you love? Perhaps the better question to ask is, how much love can you give out to prove your faith in God?